The track wasn't ours. The hands on her waist weren't mine. I didn't make a scene. I made a timeline. Hey everyone, welcome back to Karma Ledger. Today's story is about a husband who watches a harmless dance, builds a quiet evidence package, texts, receipts, access logs, and a good standing clause, and why her bonus never paid. Names and places are changed for privacy. This is not legal advice. My name is Miles, 39. I keep networks alive for a living and peace for a hobby. On a Friday in early spring, my wife, let's call her Kara, asked if I'd join her team's celebration dinner at a downtown restaurant. I said yes, because saying no had turned into a habit, and habits make you disappear. The song was Dreams, the Fleetwood Mac kind that floats over silverware and half-empty glasses. I stood near the edge of the dining room, holding a sweating tumbler of club soda, watching Kara glide across the small dance floor with a man I knew too well. Trevor, the coworker who checked on her at 12:11 a.m. last month and got blocked when I pushed. Her smile was copy-pasted from our engagement photos. Her hands were where mine used to live. Her eyes never scanned the room for me. She danced like I was a roomer. I didn't storm out. I didn't slam a chair. I breathed in the heavy perfume of lilies and wine, stepped backward through a tide of chairs, and made it to the sidewalk. 10 steps from the door, my phone buzzed. 15 more, and it rang. At 20, Kara's voice said behind me, "Where are you going?" It was just a dance. Miles, don't be dramatic. She said it like a lint roller meant to smooth and erase. We walked to the car in a silence that wasn't empty. It was crowded with everything I'd let pass without naming. She slid into the passenger seat, buckled in, stared forward. No apology. No guilt. A stage actor waiting for the next cue line. "So," she said finally, "are we going to talk about it?" "What's there to talk about?" "You left like a 17-year-old. You made it weird. Trevor is a friend." A friend who had sent fire emojis and the kind of messages you only send to someone you think about when you're supposed to sleep. I didn't say that. I started the engine because motion is easier than stillness. At home, she wiped off lipstick in the bathroom like nothing had happened. From the hall, I asked, "Why him?" She didn't flinch. "Because he makes me feel wanted." That sentence was a cold hand inside my chest. I nodded. I grabbed my jacket. I walked out. I slept in the car on a side street near the river. By sunrise, the air tasted like metal, and I'd looped the dance until it turned to pixels. When I opened my phone, I didn't go hunting. The universe made the choice. Kara's screen lit up on the console with a lock screen banner she'd forgotten to mute. "You were electric tonight." She didn't take her eyes off you. A winking emoji. A photo of a heel on a dress shoe under a table. Hers on his shot, sometime between toasts. I took a screenshot. I didn't throw the phone. The quiet part of me, the part I'd starved for years, finally spoke. Build a record. I printed the screenshot at a 24-hour copy place that still smells like college midterms. I emailed it to myself from the scanner with a subject that only made sense to me. Day 0. Then I texted someone I hadn't talked to since we were 19. Devon. Back then, he could find a dorm room party using a name and a rumor. Now he did corporate background and compliance investigations, the kind of work that asks questions without raising a voice. We met at a diner on the west side where nobody knows anyone they don't have to. I slid him the printout. He didn't ask for drama, he asked for dates. When did the late-night messages start? 2 months ago. Any hotel charges? Joint card, I said. I can pull statements. Pull everything, and Miles. Do you want peace, or do you want the truth? Because peace sometimes requires pretending. I didn't answer. He nodded like he already knew. Back home, I opened accounts, one by one, like doors I'd been afraid to check. The statements were dull until they weren't. A boutique hotel downtown 2 weeks before the dinner. 2 nights. 2 glasses of Merlot, and 1 men's robe on the minibar list. Cora had told me it was a team offsite. Trevor checked in 15 minutes after her on his own card. The hotel confirmed when Devon called, as a billing reconciliation. The word reconciliation felt like a joke that missed. I built a folder and named it Timeline. Not because I like drama, because drama is loud and evaporates. A timeline hums and stays. Day 0, dinner, dance, text banner, screenshot saved. Day 1, hotel folio, joint card statement. Devon confirms Trevor check-in. Day 2, calendar invite on Kara's laptop. Quarterly celebration. Private room, slideshow. Day 3, her company's code of conduct. Managers may not engage in relationships with reports. Use of company systems for personal relationships. Compliance review. Day 4, compensation plan. PDF, the one she left on the printer in February. Variable compensation contingent on employee good standing through pay date. Payouts subject to hold during active investigation. That sentence was gravity. She had told me last quarter that the bonus will make things easier. Good standing is 2 words that sound harmless until they mean money. I didn't want revenge. I wanted an accurate clock. In the evenings, Kara acted like nothing had cracked. Coffee, a hum in the kitchen that meant she was rehearsing a smile. When I asked about Trevor, she said, "You're spiraling." People who want you quiet like that word. I said I had a work trip, not a lie, but not now. It bought me 2 nights in a hotel room with time to stare at the ceiling and write things down. Messages, weird laughter at midnight, phone flipped over, new passcode, new gym bag with nothing sweaty inside. The list wasn't for court. It was for me to stop blaming my imagination. Devon texted at 6:12 a.m. Need to talk. We met at the same diner. He slid a manila envelope across for Micah, like we were in a movie that would be boring if not for the stakes. Inside, screen caps from Kara's office chat, where she and Trevor slid into a private channel. A Slack export. Some teams never turn off. Time stamps overlapping client hours. And a short audio file Trevor didn't know he was recording. He'd bragged at a bar about how married means practiced at lying. I didn't feel rage. I felt alignment. Lies make you question your senses. Evidence gives them back. "Don't blow up," Devon said. "If you decide to end it, end it. But if you want them to face their own rules, you don't have to shout." What would you do? I'd send a packet, facts only. Let policy do what it was written to do. He helped me shape it. We called it the evidence package because names matter. Screenshots, banner text, under table photo, metadata intact. Hotel folio plus card statements, dates, amounts. Snippets from the code of conduct, relevant sections highlighted. Comp plan. Excerpt, good standing through pay date. Payout subject to hold during active review. Slack export lines with workplace hours overlap. A 1-paragraph cover note. No allegations. Request for review to protect clients and colleagues. No drama verbs, no adjectives. Just times. The company dinner was 3 days away. Kara's calendar called it quarterly celebration with a slideshow after dessert. I didn't want to hijack a screen. Humiliation is a sugar high with a crash. But I did want truth to glow where lies liked the dim. I planned a smaller light. On the afternoon of the dinner, I scheduled 2 emails from a clean account with no name. To compliance, subject, potential policy conflict, private relationship overlapping work hours. Attachments. The package. To the restaurant's events manager, a polite note with the correct event code. Devon got it from a vendor, requesting the slideshow be delayed 5 minutes due to late arrivals. That was my window, to hand a thumb drive to the manager and ask him to play a 30-second title card before the corporate deck. The card said only, "This event follows a code of conduct. Please be mindful of our shared commitments. No names, no screenshots. A mirror, not a knife." Kara looked flawless, stepping onto the restaurant patio in emerald green. Trevor looked like fluorescent sneakers in the wrong place. I sat in a side booth and watched the first 5 minutes of the deck on a corner screen. When the title card appeared, the room did a small collective breath. People looked around like someone had gently tapped a glass. She noticed me then. Our eyes locked. I didn't smirk or signal. I just existed in her line of sight with a spine. She came fast, heels like metronomes. "What did you do?" she whispered. "Sent the truth to people whose job is truth. You're going to ruin my career." "You did that work," I said. "I put it on a clock." She turned and walked out before dessert. Trevor followed and didn't return. I didn't stick around for whispers. I walked 2 blocks to where the city sounds blur into a wind that smells like brick. I breathed for the first time in what felt like a year. Mid-roll CTA. If this kind of quiet, receipts-first story is your thing, subscribe and tap like. Thanks. The next morning, I didn't wake to a hurricane of texts. Just a single email from PeopleOps to Kara's old shared account we'd used for warranty spam. "We've received a request for review. As a reminder, variable compensation is contingent on employee good standing through the pay date. Do not use company systems for personal matters. We'll be in touch." It wasn't addressed to me, but systems leak in useful ways when you used to share a login for vet reminders. Kara came home late and quiet. She didn't perform. She asked, "Did you send HR?" "Everything?" "I sent them everything that belonged to their policy." I paused. "I didn't send your mother anything, or your friends, or anyone who can't do anything but gossip." She nodded, a small, tired nod that said the spin cycle had stopped. "Miles, can we fix this?" "You can fix you," I said. "I won't fix your story." We separated that week. No smashed plates. No speeches. Devin gave me the name of a mediator who draws straight lines. We split the house equity in a way that didn't gift anyone a crown. I kept the dog because the dog slept by the door the night I left, and that felt like a vote. A compliance review is not a public execution. It's a machine that cares more about calendars than tears. 2 Thursdays later, Kara's team got a memo. All variable comp payouts are deferred pending conclusion of review. The word deferred is a long hallway. Sometimes there's a door at the end. Sometimes there isn't. She texted once. "You win." I didn't. The point wasn't to score. The point was to stop bleeding. There's a version of this story where I blast the screenshots to every contact she has and call it justice. That version gets clicks and leaves ash. I chose paper over fire. Devin brought by a bottle with no label and a note that said, "Truth is slow. That's why it works." I moved into a 1-bedroom near a park where the morning sounds are birds and not Slack pings. I bought mismatched plates on purpose. I put the coffee mugs I actually like on the front of the shelf. I stopped standing in doorways, waiting for a temperature change that never comes. One evening I opened the timeline folder and scrolled from day 0 to the memo. It didn't feel like victory. It felt like alignment. My brain wasn't arguing with my eyes anymore. If you're living inside a story where you feel like a rumor, I can't tell you whether to stay or go. I can tell you that records are kinder than rage. Rage leaves dents. Records leave decisions. Kara didn't beg after the memo. She hired a lawyer, signed papers without adjectives, and moved her desk to a different floor. We didn't bury each other in friends. We buried a marriage that had been a ghost long before the dance. I kept the 30-second title card on that thumb drive. Sometimes truth only needs that much room. The last time I saw her, months later, was at a crosswalk. She looked different, less performed, more paused. We didn't speak. We crossed in opposite directions. Cars waited. The city exhaled. Quiet is not emptiness. It's space. Space to choose yourself without asking for permission.